So let's just summarize whatever we have discussed so far, because now our chapter is about to complete. It will get complete today only for sure. So, see, we discussed that Lord Krishna has created four divisions of human society. And why Lord Krishna has created these divisions of society or the Varn Ashram? Why Krishna has created all such things? So that human beings, where they are, from whatever state they are, whatever position they are, they may stand up from that position. It's not like they have to hang in these four ashrams, Varn ashrams, in the to their whole life. We don't have to hang in these ashrams only. We have to stand up. We have to get out from these ashramas actually and do something for our self realization. After that, we discussed this amazing shloka in which Krishna tells that you become my devotee, you think of me, you offer your homage unto me. So, when Krishna is telling all these things, see, when Krishna is telling that you worship me, you become my devotee, then worshipping doesn't only mean deity worship. Especially in the age of Kali Yuga, worshipping means we worship Krishna by chanting his glories, by chanting his holy names. So in Kali Yuga, worshipping Krishna means we are chanting his holy names, we are chanting his glories. So one should understand this thing. Now we can't chant 24 hours holy names of Krishna or glories of Krishna. That's why there are other services also. Deity worship, this service, that service. Because we are not capable to chant Krishna's glories 24 hours yet. But this is not our, again, original state. As we will gradually progress in our spiritual life, we will be able to reach at that stage also. When we will be chanting glories of Krishna, it will be like, just like we don't have to make any efforts in breathing. There is no any effort, right? When we breathe. So same, that stage will come when we will not have to put any efforts to chant the holy names of Krishna, to chant glories of Krishna. So that stage will come gradually. After that, we discussed that although Krishna has created these varnashrams, but Krishna is outside of these systems. It's not like Krishna belongs to any of these. We took example of fish, that if Krishna is appeared as a fish, then it doesn't mean that Krishna is the any. If we see fishes, then it doesn't mean that those fishes belongs to the. Uh, that doesn't mean if Krishna has appeared as a fish, as a member of community of fishes, but that doesn't mean that he is a fish. So any neophyte devotee, if he heard about the Matsya avatar of Krishna, that is Krishna who has appeared as a fish, then he might see fishes and he might assume by himself, oh, Krishna incarnated as a fish. So these are the family members of Krishna by seeing those fishes. So it's not like that. He is actually mistaken if he's thinking, if he's assuming like this. You will see fish falls in mode of ignorance, highly mode of ignorance, like highly ignorance. But then also Krishna is so great that when he appeared as a fish, He gave transcendental knowledge. Have anybody got any transcendental knowledge by seeing any fish from a normal fish? But Krishna is great. Krishna can do anything. Even though fishes, they fall in the category of the mode of ignorance, tamasic, highly tamasic. But then also, Krishna appeared as a fish and gave transcendental knowledge. So this Krishna can only do this because Krishna is great. Krishna is supreme. All right. Now let's move ahead. We will continue from where we left. Hmm. Modern society is in dire need of intellectual persons or brahmanas who can broadcast real spiritual knowledge all over the world. Okay, before moving to this point, we discussed one point here. See, one who can come to understand that Krishna is the root of everything, the origin of everything. We understand the meaning of Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna. Krishna is the supreme controller. Now, anyone who have understood this thing that Krishna is the supreme controller, then what does that mean? He will never take shelter of any other person or demigod because he's actually understanding that if Krishna is the supreme controller, if Krishna is all potent, then why there is any need to take shelter of any other person who is not as potent as Krishna? Of course, we are not comparing anything here, but any intelligent man who will understand this thing, he will never take shelter of any person, any other person. And you will see devotees who takes shelter of only Krishna. They already experience so much liberation. See, let's understand with an example. When we were not Krishna conscious, we were serving some or any other person in any way, or maybe demigods. But do we actually experiencing any transformations in our life? You ask this question to yourself only. Don't tell me. You just ask this question to yourself. It's not like we were atheist. We used to do some puja part, some worship, but we were not serving Krishna. Or even though if we were serving Krishna, we were not knowing this thing that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. We were just assuming that, yeah, Krishna and demigods, okay, all are equal. And that's why you will see, even though people who are serving Krishna with demigods, they don't, you will not see any visible transformation in their life. I've seen many people like this. So, anyone who will understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality, he will be fully surrendered to Krishna. Just remember those days, we all have gone through these phases when we were not Krishna conscious. At least if I talk about myself, I was so much underconfident. I don't know what, something was there which was stopping me. There was some hesitation. Anybody who used to like come in front of me, I was unable to speak very nicely in front of him. Means normal interaction. I'm talking about normal interaction. I had a fear in my heart. I don't know if fear is the right word or not, but yeah, something was there which was stopping me to progress in my life. And you know why this happens? Why this hesitation and fear? Why all these things happen in our life? Because we were thinking that whatever things are there around us, we are controlling it. And because, see, anyone, everyone, they need shelter. But if they, like, if they know about this thing, that whoever, like, whatever person I have taken sheltered of, if he's not that competent to give me protection, then there will be a fear in our heart. So, anyone who has any kind of fear, hesitation, it is because that there is no any potent man to whom he can take shelter, of whom he can take shelter. Is it not? Just like if we understand this with an example, if there is a child and he know that his father is always there with him, no matter what, he automatically feels so much confident. Oh yeah, you will see small children, if suppose any dog comes, so you will see those children, they don't have any kind of fear. They will just whatever with their hands, they will do movement. They will they will try to play with that dog for the sake of fun, because they are very much aware about this thing, that my mother is there to protect me or my father is there to protect me. That's why they act very bravely, they don't fear. You might have seen this. So now suppose if there is any fair means mela, and any child, any boy, he has gone to that fair with his parents, and somehow in crowd he went into another direction. He missed his parents. Now he's like searching for his parents, but he's not he's not able to find his parents. Then his heart will be full of fear, that oh, there is no one to protect me. Where are my parents? Where is my father? Where's my mother? So his heart will be full of fear at that time. So same thing happens in our life. When we assume that we are the controller of everything, so now if I am assuming that I have to control everything, so now this headache is my headache to control things. And I am very much aware about this thing, that I can't control things by myself. I'm not that competent. And that's why we struggle so much. We have fear in our heart. We are hesitating to progress. But you will see, when we understood this thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality, and when we surrender unto Krishna, then Krishna is always there to protect us. Krishna is always there to help us. Whatever difficulty may come in our life, no matter whatever difficulty, Krishna is always there to protect us. So now you will see there is no any fear. And there are many dimensions of this thing. Fear is also there when we identify ourselves with this body, that oh, I may die, or whatever other things. But when we understand things from scriptures, there is no scope of any fear. And this is a great liberation. This is actually a great liberation, that there is no fear. We have full faith that Krishna is there to protect me. One devotee was telling this amazing thing, that you will see there are many temples, mosques, churches. There are many, like, these temples and all. And people visit there, they do visit there, but their hearts are full of desires. There is no any faith that yes, okay, whatever they are identifying themselves with any caste or religion, but then also it's not like they are visiting temple for the sake of uh, meeting with their lordships. It's not like that at all. It's just their hearts are full of desires and they are just going so that their desire may get fulfilled. There is no any faith. Faith means that I'm going to meet my Lord, I have surrendered him, and he's always there to protect me. Faith means devotees who are Krishna conscious, they have faith in their hearts that whatever will happen in my life, it will be because of Krishna's plan. Krishna's hand is there in my life. If anything good is happening in my life, then the reason is Krishna. And if something bad is happening in my life, then also reason is Krishna only. Because that will also be good for ourselves. We might not be understanding this thing right now, but we understand this thing later. Sometimes this like huge reflection comes in my mind that Krishna has put me where I should exactly be. Sometimes I also get bewildered, I also get upset, but this huge reflections often comes in my mind that Krishna has put me where I should exactly be. You can also reflect on this. Whatever provoking situations coming in our lives, it is for our own purification. Today only Prabhuji wrote this in morning japa that there are no any hard times in our life. It's just these are tests which are coming in our life to test us that whether if okay these if even these provoking situations are coming in my life, then also will I chant 16 rounds, or will I get bewildered and I'll just quit my chanting, quit my hearing, and I'll just go and whatever rubbish thing I'll do. So these are like tests. These are tests only, which are like phases. They come for a specific period of time and then they'll go. So this is for our purification only. After all, we are rascals number one because we have been doing rascalgiri from eternal time. We were not serving Krishna. So definitely test will come in our lives that do we really want to serve Krishna? Are we really eager to serve Krishna? So this is something which we should understand that these are like tests. All right. So are you understanding this thing? That if we will understand that Krishna is root of everything, then we understand the meaning of Ishvara Parma Krishna. Krishna is the supreme controller. And then there will be no scope of taking shelter of any other person. You will see some people will come in your life to whom you will preach. They will agree that, yeah, okay, Krishna is supreme personality. We agree, other are demigods. But then also they are not serving Krishna. They are busy in serving demigods only. I asked this question with Prabhuji to Prabhuji. So Prabhuji said, then they have actually not accepted Krishna as supreme personality. Let's understand this with an example. That suppose if you were assuming earlier that a secretary of prime minister is your father, and you were assuming that secretary as your father, you were serving him. But later, when you come to know that no, that is just a secretary of your real father. Your real father is prime minister. When you'll come to know this, then you'll go and you will just start serving your real father, prime minister. Is it not? It's not like you are disrespecting that secretary, but if you come to know that your real father is that prime minister and you have been serving his secretary your whole life. So the moment you'll come to know that your real father is prime minister, you will start serving him. So same thing is here. When you will accept that Krishna is the supreme personality, he is your supreme father, then you will start serving Krishna. And when you will serve that prime minister, then his secretary will also be satisfied. So same way, when you will serve Krishna, then other people, demigods, they'll also get satisfied. Because after all, we all are fragmental part of Krishna. So it is that easy. But it is very much difficult for people to understand this much easy thing. You won't believe this thing. Today I went somewhere. There was some work. So I was coming back to my home. I was in a cab. So I thought, let's just try to preach this driver who was driving that car. So I was like, I was trying to tell him everything. First of all, I told him about Gita, that do you read Bhagavad Gita? Oh, I was also not reading Bhagavad Gita, but then I started reading Bhagavad Gita. This transformation happened in my life. I was serving this, I was struggling this much, that much, but now my whole life got transformed. But he was like, He was not, he was saying, ha ha ha, he was agreeing. But he was not enthused. He was not showing any interest. That, oh wow, you have experienced so much transformations. I also want to experience such transformations. He was not saying anything. Then later, I told him that we all are doing whatever we are doing it for the sake of getting happiness. I tried to preach these things also to him, but then also he was like, he was just agreeing on things. He was not denying or he was not arguing. He was just agreeing. Then later, finally, I just tried to tell him difference between animals and human beings. But then also that man was so dumb, he was not understanding anything. After all, he was agreeing on everything, but he was not showing any interest. That wow, this knowledge is so profound. I want to learn more about this knowledge. He was not grabbing anything. I've seen many people when I preach them such thing, then they get so much inspired. Actually, I don't preach. I just share my recordings, previous recordings. So just by hearing those recordings, they show more interest that we want to learn more. But you see how people are so dumb minded. They don't understand this much easy thing. At last, also, I was like trying to convince him. But then also, he was like, he said, he said nothing. So I was thinking in my mind that, yeah, Krishna is not allowing him to grab this knowledge. Today only, Prabhuji was telling this thing that it has already been said by Krishna that who will join this movement of Hare Krishna and who will not. So I was just remembering this thing. Anyways, So, yes, in the universe, there are many Ishwaras or controllers, but Krishna is the supreme among all of them. Krishna consciousness gives us this knowledge. Without it, we will remain ignorant of our real self interest. So, now I was really reflecting on this thing when I was trying to preach that driver, that Krishna consciousness is extremely rare. It is extremely rare. Krishna gives us such lessons sometimes. Like these such peoples when come in our lives, we come to know that yes, Krishna consciousness is really extreme. It is extremely rare. Alright. Modern society in dire need of intellectual persons or brahmanas who can broadcast real spiritual knowledge all over the world. That is an absolute necessity for a society which is working hard simply to exploit nature. So you will see that earlier people were very good. How? Because they were doing, okay, whatever they were doing, their services they were doing, whatever businesses they were doing, there were doctors earlier also, but those doctors, they they were eager to serve people. But right now, you will see doctors are actually exploiting. I hope there is no any doctor in our meeting. Okay, no, there is no any doctor. Okay, so yes, you will see doctors are actually exploiting. They will tell that, yeah, this is the expenditure. You will have to go through an operation. This will be the expenditure. If that person will not be able to, uh, what to say, afford that expense, then that doctor will not do his operation. Is it not? It is. This is what happening today. People are simply exploiting. They don't want to serve. They just want. They have become money making machines. They just want to make more and more money, and they don't have to do, like, there is no any humanity. They just want to make more and more money. That's it. So Prabhupada ji is telling this thing only, that all over the world there is a need of intellectual persons and brahmanas. Means Krishna conscious people, devotees, who may actually preach this knowledge so that people may become devotees. So, yes, this that is an absolute necessity for a society. For that, from that only there will be a welfare for society. Otherwise, people are just working hard for exploiting. If people try to understand this Krishna consciousness movement scientifically and philosophically with their best knowledge and judgment and try to cooperate, there will be peace all over the world. In essence, the method is very simple. What? That you become Krishna conscious. We need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and follow the regulative principles mentioned before. We already discussed four regulative principles. By following the regulative principles, we will be avoiding the four pillars of sinful life. And by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be associating with God constantly. Thus, there will be peace among all classes of men. So, see, whoever is breaking these four regulative principles, it is actually, you know, progressing more in a sinful life, which takes us more away from Krishna. And that is why these four regulative principles are told to follow. And it's not like Prabhupada ji has made these principles. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam only that anyone who will follow these four regulative principles, he will follow purity, he will progress in his life with a great speed, and he'll go more and more close to Krishna. That's why you will see devotees, I see, it has become natural for us to serve Krishna. Is it not? I really appreciate devotees. Uh, they attend four classes every day, 3 to 4 classes, chanting in association in morning. So they have actually set, and there is no any other setting. They have set the schedule, and there is no any other setting that we have to do this or that. Devotees are becoming more and more fixed that, yeah, we have to chant our 16 rounds, then we have to consume prasadam, then attend classes. So, like this, it has become natural for us. Why? Because we are following purity, or whatever things have been told to us. Anyone who will follow things as it is, then automatically you will see it will become natural for them to serve Krishna. So, this is just amazing. By just following the regulative principles, we will be avoiding the four pillars of sinful life. These are the four pillars of sinful life. So, see how easily we have crossed these pillars by just following these principles. And it has become natural now. And by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be associating with God constantly. Thus, there will be peace among all classes of men. So, from this, our third chapter, Toward a Peaceful Society, of the book Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, completes here. We will stop here now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.